Hello, my name is Alan. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is my very first video in YouTube. So today I would like to talk about what passion really is and the difference between different types of passion, and most importantly, how we might develop a healthier form of passion in real life. This is today's structure. So in this video, we will first discuss what passion is. Then we will look at the two types of passion, harmonious passion and obsessive passion. Next, we will discuss how to distinguish between them and how to develop harmonious passion. After that, we will explore how to find the passion in real life. And finally, I will share my own small life experiment. At the end, I will summarize the key takeaway from all these studies. The first question is, what is passion? There is a very famous model to represent different types of passion, which is called the dualistic model of passion. This is proposed by Professor Robert Vallerand and his colleague in a paper titled On Obsessive and Harmonious Passion. Passion is not just a simple interest, nor is it just a moment of excitement. Passion can be defined as a strong inclination toward an activity that people like and they find important, and in which they can invest time and energy. So, in simple words, passion means there is something you truly love, something you value, and something you are willing to spend and energy on, and over time, it may become part of who you are. But this model also reminds us that not all passion is the same. So there are two types of passion actually. One is harmonious passion, which is called HP. Two is obsessive passion, which you can call it OP. And by definition, there's another research paper titled Who's the Happiest and Why? The Role of Passion and Self-Regulation in Psychological Well-being. It said, with harmonious passion, HP, the activity that one loves and finds important is coherent with our identity and outer life. In contrast, with individuals experience both external and internal pressures to engage in the beloved activity, often driven by concerns for social validation and contingencies of self-worth. That is, also in simple terms, harmonious passion is when you freely choose to engage in something you love. It gives you energy, focus, meaning, but it can still coexist with your health, relationship, family, and other parts of life. While OP may look similar from the outside, because you also spend a lot of time and effort on it, but inside, it is often driven by pressure, ego, comparison to social validation, or the fear of not being good enough. So, the real question is not simple. Do I have passion? The bad question is, what kind of passion am I developing? Because a healthy passion should make your life more alive and integrated, not narrower, not anxious, or more controlled. So the second question is, how do we distinguish harmonious passion and obsessive passion? I think we can ask our three simple questions. Firstly, when I do the activity, do I feel more freedom or more pressure? If I feel, say, I want to do this because it is meaningful to me, it is closer to harmonious passion. But if I feel I have to do this, otherwise I'm not good enough, then it may be closer to obsessive passion. Secondly, when I stop doing it, do I feel peaceful or guilty? With harmonious passion, I can enjoy the activity, but I can also step away from it. With obsessive passion, even when I stop, my mind may still be trapped by it. It may feel anxious, guilty, or afraid of falling behind. Third, does this activity make my life bigger or smaller? A healthy passion should give me energy and meaning, but still leave space for health, family, relationship, and other goals. But if this passion slowly takes over everything, then I need to be very careful. So for me, the difference is not only how much I love something. The deep question is, does this passion give me freedom and does it control me? So the third question is, why should we be careful about obsessive passion? It's very obvious, because it can look very attractive from outside for the OP. A person may seem hardworking, ambitious, and extremely committed, but the problem is that OP can slowly turn something we love into something that controls us, which is really bad. When passion becomes obsessive, we may feel that we have to do it, even when we are tired, even when it hurts our health, relationships, or other parts of life. And when we stop, we may feel guilty, anxious. This is very common in today's work-driven world where many people confuse pleasure and external recognition with real passion. So the goal is not simply to become more passionate. The goal is to develop a healthier kind of passion, one that gives us energy, meaning, and growth, but does not take away our freedom. That is what we call harmonious passion. And the very important question in the following is, how can we develop HP? I think there are three important signals we should be concerned of. One is choice, the second is a sense of improvement, then the harmony. Let's talk about choice first. As detailed in this reference, HP inherently implies a strong desire to freely engage in the beloved activity while being mindful and open to experience. That means a healthy passion should feel like something you choose, not something you are forced to do. Of course, every activity has difficult moments, but deep down, you should feel, I want to move closer to this. Not because I have to prove myself, not because I need everyone's approval, but because this activity feels meaningful to me. Second, a sense of improvement. In this research paper, there is a sentence: first time participation in the activity results in perception of improved mastery. That means passion usually does not appear suddenly. It grows when you try something, stay with it for a while, and slowly feel that you are getting better. So instead of asking, what is my passion? Maybe we should ask, what activity makes me willing to learn, improve, and come back again? Lastly, harmony. Again, in this research, the activity nevertheless remains under the person's control and is in harmony with other elements of the self and of the person's life. Which means harmonious passion should not destroy the rest of your life. It can be important, but it should leave space for your health, family, relationships, and other goals. If something gives you meaning, but also takes away all your freedom, then we need to be very careful. So, to develop harmonious passion, we need to ask three questions. First, do I choose this freely? Second, do I feel I am improving? Thirdly, and can this activity coexist with the rest of my life? So instead of putting too much pressure on ourselves to find the one perfect passion immediately, maybe we can ask a more practical questions. How can we find? So now we come to the final question. How do we find our passion? Based on these studies, I think the answer is we may not find passion in one sudden moment. More often, we develop. Passion usually starts with a small signal. Maybe there is something that makes us curious. Maybe we enjoy doing it a little bit. Maybe we feel we are getting better. Maybe after doing it once, we still want to come back to it again. So instead of asking, what is my passion? Maybe a better question is, which activities are worth exploring further? Because passion needs time. It needs repeated engagement. It needs a sense of choice, a sense of improvement, and a sense of harmony with the rest of life. If an activity gives us energy and still allows us to move, that may have the potential to be our passion. So my reflection is we need a small life experiment. So if passion is something that develops through action, observation, and repeated engagement, then maybe we should not just wait for passion to appear. We need to actively explore it. One possible way is to look back at our childhood memories. What activities naturally attracted us when we were young? What did we enjoy doing before we cared too much about money, status, or other people's opinions? Another way is to ask ourselves, what activity would still make me feel curious and enthusiastic, even if it does not bring me any immediate monetary return? This does not mean money is not important, but if an activity can still attract us without short-term rewards, maybe it contains something meaningful to us. Finally, we need to give it time. Finding passion requires continuous effort, but not continuous pressure. We need to return to the activity again and again, observe whether we are improving, and see whether it can fit into our life in a healthy way. So based on the whole idea, I designed a simple method for myself, a small life experiment to test whether an activity has the potential to become my harmonious passion. And actually, this YouTube channel is part of that experiment. I want to make it a regular part of my life. I do not know yet whether it will become a lifelong passion, but I want to give it enough time and space to grow. I want to keep showing up, keep improving, and keep observing myself. Maybe this is how passion begins, not from certainty, but from repeated action, honest observation, and the willingness to return. Thank you very much. And this is my thought. I'm so happy to share with you guys my opinion on passion, and I would keep uploading relevant video on life thoughts. Thank you very much. Goodbye.